Dear friends, thank you for this opportunity to speak on an issue that is very personal to me. As the former president of Estonia and as the UN Secretary General's advocate for every woman, every child, I believe in the power, effectiveness, and above all, essentialness of women leaders. We are halfway through the time frame for achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. But instead of closing the gender equity gap, decades of progress have been lost, and women's fundamental rights and health are under attack. Women, half of the population, are largely not the ones making decisions, especially not women from low-income countries, especially not the decisions which very often do concern, actually, mostly or only women. As of today, just 26 women serve as heads of state and government in 24 countries. At this rate, we will not reach gender parity at the highest positions of power for another 130 years. Women are even more absent among health boards, leadership at private companies, and philanthropies. At the same time, women and girls are bearing the brunt of the global pandemic, as well as new and ongoing conflict, the ever-increasing climate emergency, and dramatic changes in policy that take away rights and set us back decades. These outcomes are not anymore limited to least developed and developing nations. These outcomes, drastic change in the rights of women for the worse, are now common also in developed countries. Crises have worsened health outcomes for girls and women around the world due to lack of access to essential health services and education, forced marriages, job loss, exposure to violence. Not all decisions today try to alleviate, but actually make these problems worse. The compounding crises have exposed just how fragile recent gains have been, and how quickly advancements can disappear without vigilance, advocacy, and partnerships. Women are on the front lines at home and in their communities, but I must ask, who sees us and who hears us? There is a need for transformative action to ensure women have a voice that is not only spoken, but also heard and taken seriously. Above all, taken seriously. Even women in the highest position have sometimes felt like, I speak, they do not listen. Is it something to do with my gender, my age? Let's be frank, very often it is. It still is, globally, in every country. Nobody is guilt-free. People, communities and economies will thrive when we raise up this half of the population, our women and girls. When we acknowledge the contributions of women, when we pay women fairly for the work that they do, when we, as a whole, show the value and inherent necessity of women for the society. We must increase access to choices and empowerment from absolutely every angle, in absolutely every country. The solutions are normally complex, but let us commit to a gender lens that includes the participation of women, especially young women and girls, working in partnerships and communities, governments, corporations and NGOs toward our common goals. This is the way to see true change. This is the way we can make progress. Let's be serious about the women's business globally. I'm calling on all men, women, boys, girls, everybody. Let's do this together. We will get a better world. Thank you.